Which method of cardio is best for fat loss? Is it high intensity interval training or steady state cardio? I need to start this video with a bit of a rant. And this rant has a purpose. Within the fitness industry, there's a culture of saying this is better than this. This training method is better than this training method. This diet is better than this diet. When it comes to interval training versus steady state cardio, there are academic studies which suggest that interval training burns more fat. What you need to understand is that when two groups are compared in a study, there are many variables. And these variables mean that this information is not definitive. People within these two groups have differences. Two people's resting metabolic rate may be different. People's daily caloric output could be different. For example, one person in one group might have a desk job, one person in another group might have a manual labor job, so the actual caloric output is greater, not even considering the focus of the study. Everybody's physiology is different. If you watched my first fat loss video, you would have known that I stated everybody reacts differently to carbohydrates. My insulin reaction to a carbohydrate will be different to your reaction. The way you react to physical fitness will be different to the way my body reacts. Not just this, but people have different diets. It is very hard to suggest that in both groups of these studies that both people had exactly the same diet and that interval training was the only factor that meant that there was an increase in fat loss within this group. Whilst an academic study may give you significant data, in the majority of cases this will not be definitive data. And this is where the fitness industry misinterprets data by telling you that one way is better than another way. It is much more marketable to package fitness. If I sell you this package with this training method and this eating method, which is superior to others, which will help you create your goal, it's easier for me to sell this package, but that's not the way that the human body works. So rant over, you can probably see where I'm going with the answer to this question, and the truth is that high intensity interval training and steady state cardio can both lead to fat loss. The common sense approach would be to use both of these methods within your training program. Interval training is more intense, it's more stimulating and more stressful to your nervous system, to your muscles, to your joints, to your bones. As a result, interval training will be done at a lesser frequency than steady state cardio. The important point is you have to consistently change your workouts. You cannot stick with one form of interval training and one form of steady state training and expect to see consistent results. So the best way for me to present information is to give you the knowledge and you to apply this knowledge to your training. What are the benefits of interval training? Interval training is effectively sprint training. It's effectively hard bursts of training followed by periods of rest. This can be done however you want, on a treadmill, running, on a bicycle, using bodyweight exercises. You can have 30 seconds intervals with 1 minute rest. You can have 30 seconds intervals with 10 seconds rest. You can have 20-second intervals with 10 seconds rest. This is a Tabata. You may have heard of Tabata. That is interval training. One key thing to notice is that the less your rest time in relation to your work time, the more anaerobic the exercise becomes. For example, if you have a 30-second interval with only 15 seconds rest, that would be considered anaerobic. Anaerobic means an absence of oxygen. Your body cannot efficiently uptake oxygen if you're working hard for 30 seconds and only resting for 15. One of the side effects of anaerobic training is that your body will produce lactic acid. This is when your muscles kind of feel like they're jelly and you hit a wall and you can't go on. This is why if you're using anaerobic intervals, the duration of your training session will be shorter. The main benefit of interval training for fat loss is not what happens in that session. It's actually the effect you have on your resting metabolic rate for days after that workout. Now, research varies, but it's somewhere in the region of 24 to 48 hours. Your resting metabolism for those next 24 to 48 hours will be higher at rest than it would have if you did not do that workout. So it's the energy systems that are recruited by the body. For interval training, you're using the ATP-PC system for hard short sprints, as well as the anaerobic glycolytic system, which is anaerobic, as I've stated, where there's an absence of oxygen. The difference with steady state cardio is that you are using the aerobic oxidative system. And this is what bodybuilders have preached for years, that the low intensity, the low to moderate intensity uses fat as fuel. So that's why in theory that you've heard this idea that steady state cardio uses fat as its energy source and therefore it's superior for fat burning, and also that it will not decrease muscle size. I'll get into muscle size in a different video because that's a whole nother can of worms and there's so much bad information about that. For steady state cardio, due to the lower intensity, your training sessions have to be much longer in duration. The benefit of steady state cardio is that there's much less stress on your joints, on your bones, on your muscles, on your nervous system, especially when you're combining cardio with weight training as part of your weekly training regime. Weight training is extremely stressful on the body, on the nervous system. So I think you can understand where I'm coming from. I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I'm saying that both have advantages. However, when you mix both of them into one training regime, you're getting the best of both worlds. So I hope this video was useful. I'm James Linker. This is Shredded Sports Science. Thank you so much to all of you who have subscribed to this channel, and I'll see you soon.